The bathroom reeked of bleach and something worse. Shame. A black girl, no older than 16, knelt on the grimy tiles, scrubbing a brown stain on the floor that looked older than the building itself. Her hands were bare, red, shaking. She didn't speak. She didn't even flinch when a pair of gloves was tossed into the toilet behind her with a splash. "Oh no! You missed your chance, Charity Case," laughed a blonde girl in designer boots, her voice echoing off the walls like a weapon. Her two friends burst into laughter, one of them recording it all on a brand-new iPhone. Students stood around pretending not to watch. Some giggled, some whispered. No one helped. No one stopped it. The girl's jeans were soaked at the knees. Her hoodie, faded and thin, clung to her like a second skin. She kept her head down, not from fear, but calculation. She didn't beg. She didn't cry. But her eyes, they weren't dead. They were burning. And they didn't notice. Not yet. They thought they'd broken her. They didn't know who she was. Not yet. Before this school, before these walls, before the bleach and humiliation, there was peace. There was strength. She used to live with her mother in a tiny second-floor apartment above a corner store in Philadelphia. It wasn't much. The walls were thin, the heater rattled in the winter, and the stairs creaked like they were whispering secrets. But it was home, and it was filled with love. Her mother worked 2 shifts at the hospital, always coming home in scrubs and tired smiles. She never complained. She'd put dinner on the stove, kiss her daughter's forehead, and ask, "You practicing today, champ?" She always was. She started karate at age 6. By 14, she was a black belt. Her sensei used to call her the Quiet Storm. Fast hands, sharp eyes, total focus. She had trophies, medals, certificates, but none of that mattered as much as her mother clapping in the crowd during every tournament. Then cancer came. Fast. Vicious. Her mother withered faster than the doctors could explain. Bills swallowed their savings. She sold the trophies for rent. She stopped training. Then one night, it was just silence, and a caseworker with polite pity and a ride to foster care. She never cried, not even at the funeral. 2 weeks later, she arrived at Westbridge Academy, a private school, mostly white, wealthy. She got in through a scholarship nobody wanted to talk about. Nobody welcomed her. They stared. They whispered. Some laughed. But she kept her back straight. She didn't wear name brands. She didn't smile much. But she carried something in her walk that bothered them. Like she knew who she was. Like she still had something left. And that's exactly why they came for her. It started small. A bump in the hallway. A fake sorry with a smirk. A ratchet comment whispered just loud enough for her to hear. A spilled juice box on her science notes, followed by a laugh and a, "Oops, clumsy me." She didn't react, not the way they wanted, and that made them bolder. They began calling her Maid behind her back, made jokes about her mother, called her ghetto. One of them even said she probably lived in a shelter. The teachers didn't step in. They rarely do when it's a black girl keeping her head down, minding her business. She stayed quiet, because she needed that scholarship. It was her only way out, her only promise to her mom that hadn't been broken. But they wanted her to snap. They wanted a show. So they set one up. The plan was whispered during lunch. After last period, they cornered her by the lockers and told her the principal needed her in the third-floor bathroom. She walked in, and the door slammed behind her. 3 of them. Claire, with her perfect nails and $1,000 phone. Brittany, with that fake, sweet smile. Tara, already laughing like it was a joke she couldn't wait to post. Claire held up a pair of yellow gloves. "You want to stay here? Clean this. With your hands." And just like that, they dumped the gloves into the toilet. Then they pulled out their phones. "Come on, do it, or we'll tell the principal you were vaping in here." She didn't speak. She just knelt down. Her hand touched the cold tile. The camera started rolling. But what no one realized was that her silence wasn't surrender. It was a warning, and they were too stupid to see the storm coming. Claire leaned in close, holding her phone steady, grinning like she'd already won. "Smile for the camera, floor girl." The girl didn't flinch. She kept scrubbing, slow, silent. Then Claire stepped closer and nudged her shoulder with her boot. "I said smile. Or maybe you miss your dead mama too much to function." That's when it happened. Her hand stopped moving. Her shoulders tightened. And for the first time, she looked up. Her eyes weren't wet. They were fire. "Don't touch me," she said quietly. Calm. Deadly. Claire blinked, confused. "What?" She repeated it. Slower. "Don't. Touch. Me dot." Brittany laughed. "You gonna cry, maid?" The girl stood up. Not fast. Not loud. Just controlled. She rolled her shoulders back like she was remembering something. Then she took a step forward. Claire raised her hand to shove her again, but she never got the chance. In one motion, the girl grabbed her wrist, twisted it back, spun Claire into the wall, and swept her legs from under her. Claire hit the floor with a thud so hard it knocked the phone from her hand. Brittany gasped and charged, but the girl turned, grabbed Brittany's jacket, and used her own momentum to fling her straight into the stall door. Tara froze. The girl didn't. She took one step, then hit Tara with a palm strike so fast it looked like a blur. Tara staggered back, holding her shoulder, eyes wide in shock. And just like that, it was done. The bathroom was silent. Claire groaned on the floor. The phones had stopped recording, but eyes hadn't. The girl stood over them, chest rising, calm like a fighter after the bell. "I'm not your entertainment," she said, "and I'm not your victim." Nobody dared speak. Nobody dared move. Because suddenly, everyone realized they'd been messing with the wrong girl. The video didn't just spread, it exploded. By the time she got home that night, clips of the takedown had already hit every student's phone, Snapchat story, and private group chat. Someone had even posted it on TikTok with the caption, "Bathroom Black Belt." Within hours, it had over 100,000 views. But the attention didn't bring justice. Not yet. By morning, the school office called her in. Principal Hammond didn't smile, didn't ask if she was okay. Just folded his hands and said, "We're investigating an incident. You may be facing suspension." She stared at him. For what? Defending myself? He didn't answer, because he already knew. Claire's parents had shown up early that morning, furious, wealthy, and demanding. They claimed their daughter was attacked. They had lawyers, influence, friends on the school board. She had no one. Except the truth. But truth doesn't matter much when the system sees your skin before your story. Until further notice, the principal said, sliding a paper across the desk, "You're off the team, and your scholarship is under review." She walked out of the office without saying a word, but her fists were clenched. And her fire? Now it was personal. He'd been watching from the shadows since the day she arrived at Westbridge. Ethan James, the only other black scholarship student in the entire school. Quiet, tech-savvy, invisible by choice. He saw everything: the stares, the whispers, the bathroom video, and something in him snapped too. While the school debated whether to punish her, Ethan was already working behind the scenes. At home, in his dim bedroom filled with screens, he started digging. It didn't take much. Claire and her crew weren't careful. He hacked into their private group chats, their cloud backups, even their deleted messages. What he found? Proof. Weeks of bullying. Screenshots of them planning the bathroom setup. A video of Brittany mocking her hoodie, calling it plantation fashion. And worst of all, a clip from a month ago where Claire bragged about planting a stolen necklace in the girl's locker just to get her searched by security. Ethan packaged everything. Organized, time-stamped, undeniable. He sent it anonymously. To the school board. To local reporters. To a viral justice page on Instagram with 3 million followers. By the next morning, the narrative had flipped. Now the world knew the truth. Now the world saw who the real bullies were. Parents flooded the school's email. Reporters waited outside the gates. The school board had no choice but to step in. Claire was suspended. Her college recommendations withdrawn. Her name trended, but for all the wrong reasons. And the girl who once scrubbed floors in silence? She was being called a hero. But she didn't want fame. She just wanted justice. And she wasn't done yet. She didn't return to school right away. Not because she was afraid, but because she needed time. Time to breathe. To remember who she was before all this. Before the bleach, the phone cameras, and the silence. One evening, while rain tapped gently on the window of her foster home, a knock came at the door. She opened it and froze. Master Kimura stood there. Her old karate teacher. The man who once told her she could shake the world without ever raising her voice. "I saw the video," he said, eyes proud. "You haven't forgotten who you are." She hadn't. That week, she returned to the dojo. Her moves were slower at first, rusty, but each punch, each kick unlocked something buried deep. Grief, rage, power, purpose. She trained hard, every single day. Not to impress. Not to trend. To reclaim what was hers. 6 months later, she stood in the center of a crowded arena, wearing a black GI, her belt tied tight. Across from her was Sasha Reyes, national champion, 6 feet tall, fierce, focused, and trained by a rival dojo. People said she didn't stand a chance, but they didn't know her mother. They didn't know the girl who fought through loss, racism, humiliation, and still stood tall. The match was brutal, fast, bloody. And in the final second, when Sasha tried a cheap shot to the ribs, she spun, lifted her leg, and struck clean across the jaw. Sasha hit the mat. The crowd rose. She stood still, and then raised the trophy high. Somewhere in the front row, Ethan smiled. Kimura nodded. The crowd chanted her name. She didn't gloat. She just looked up at the lights, eyes full, voice steady. "This is for you, Mama!" And the arena roared.